Hi there, it's Skyward Shield. Welcome to I Do Football Talks. I would say I am joined by Bill, but sadly I am not. He is still sick. In fact, he is worse, and he is unable to join. But it'll just be me for the week. But don't worry, I'm gonna make the podcast much more shorter since I don't have someone to leapfrog off of when it comes to talking points here. So let's just jump right into it. Let's get into some of the news that happened. A little bit of news involving the Texans. The Texans have hired a GM. I believe we might have talked about it, but in case not, I'm going to mention now they have hired Brian Gaine from the Bills, of the Vice President of Player Personnel from there. Not only is he the new GM for the Texans, he's already talking about making Jadeveon Clowney the highest paid non-quarterback right now, so that's going to be something to note. But the other thing is that Bill O'Brien now has a contract extension, and that is settled and done. No more worries about him being gone and all these rumors being spread that he's going to be out the door. Which, why would you do that? After seeing what he did with Deshaun Watson, it looks dumb to do that as things stand now. Things can change, but right now I don't see why you would do that. And who wants to come and take that spot? Let's get into some games I just want to mention. Let's start with the 4 playoff games. We're gonna go through them in order of the timeline. Let's start with the Eagles game, the Falcons-Eagles game. The Falcons look like they should have had this game. On paper, they had everything. They even had the better quarterback, but Sarkisian, man. Sarkisian, just like his feminist counterpart, just doesn't, how do I put it? He found a way to fuck it all up for them, and yeah, the Falcons are done. Kudos to the Eagles, they did pretty well. They kicked their way to victory, and not like the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Chiefs last year, where all they did was kick field goals, but they're at a title game, which they're hosting one against the Vikings, which, oh, we're going to get to that game later. How did you fuck it up, Atlanta? How did you screw that one up? That is just embarrassing. This is coming a week after the, this is a week after you had the, the title game, the championship game in college, and when the state of Georgia choked a lead to Alabama, which you can't trust Georgia with anything. Georgia doesn't deserve anything anymore. They clearly should not be rooted for, because you could give them a lead, no matter how big, and they'll find a way to blow it. Ay, ay, ay. This is why I said I didn't want them in the playoffs, because they were going to stink up the joint, and they stinked up that day. They really did. Sure, you can say, oh, the game was close, Josh. I don't care. That was embarrassing. That is disgusting. Atlanta fans feel horrified. It's like, this is what has become of us. I feel they must feel even worse because they choked that playoff lead, because that looked like their only chance. And right now, it would be fair to assume it's like, yeah, we're not going to the Super Bowl anytime soon with the offense being like this. Also, Julio Jones ended up tripping when it mattered most, but I'm going to make a bet. But somewhere in the offseason, Devontae Freeman's going to say, oh, we would have won if they gave the ball to me. Bitch, you did the same thing you did with the Super Bowl game, where you were a turnstile and let Deontay Hightower, I can't believe I forgot the name there. So yeah, Deontay Hightower, you let him get what was to me the key play of the game right there, that pivotal fumble that was necessary to continue the comeback against the Falcons. So yeah, this guy, he can talk the crap he wants, because I know he's gonna do it. History should repeat itself, and yeah, he did the same thing again. So, but kudos to the Eagles defense. They really stepped up when they needed to. They're just as mean as I remember seeing them all regular season, so. And they're going to need to bring that if they want to stand a chance against the Vikings, but we'll get to that one later. Next up, the Patriots. I swear, the first half of the quarter, or the first half of the first quarter, so let's just say the beginning of the game, everyone's like, oh, the Titans are going to win, guys. Look, the Patriots are in trouble. The Patriots are in trouble. And I tell my friend, Chicken Fajita, that by halftime, they're going to be up 21-7. There's nothing to fear. People need to just stop. And lo and behold, they were up 21-7. What else is new? I've seen this shit. I've seen this song and dance time and time again. Nothing to fear. Because the Titans were the Titans. Now, if this was something like the Jaguars, I would actually be a little concerned. But you know what? At the end of the day, the Patriots handled a really bad Titans team that still also had no business being here. The AFC was so weak apart from the Patriots, Steelers, and the Jaguars. It was horrible to watch all this. Anyway, the Titans are taken care of. The Patriots just manhandled them after the Titans got their first touchdown. They only got another one in garbage time, but yeah. Yikes, that was the end of Tennessee, and they're out with Mike Mularkey. No more exotic smash mouth. He's been fired, which for the Titans, I guess, good riddance, because their team was mediocre at best. They were, even though they won against the Chiefs, which good job on you still for making them choke. You still had no real business in the playoffs. You weren't worthy of a Super Bowl ring. So yeah. Anyway, next game, Jaguars Steelers. Wow. The Jaguars have been shit-talking everybody. They've been shit-talking all these other teams, everyone they go up against. Even when Jalen Ramsey was confronted about stuff like this, he's like, oh, I'm not doing it to be personal. I just want to get under their skin. But he could have just left it like, I just say it because I want to mess with them a little. Just, you know, get under their skin and put them off their game. But no, he starts talking about, like, he starts getting more personal on players. Like, he'll attack players individually, and that's why A.J. Green got in a fight with him at the beginning. The guy just basically doesn't know when to shut his mouth. But that's why I thought he was so perfect for Dallas. It's like, Dallas is like, okay, look, like one picture or one tweet I saw, which was, I found to be pretty accurate. Or not accurate, a pretty interesting question. And that year, where they drafted Jalen Ramsey, they you have to ask, which side would you rather want? Did you want did you want Zeke and Jalen Smith, or did you want Jalen Ramsey and Myles Jack? And right now, I'd take Jalen Ramsey and Myles Jack, because Ramsey is as very much as transcendent as he should be. To an extent, he has the right to shit talk because he's one of the best corners right now. But this team is just begging to get cursed because they keep saying, we're going to win the Super Bowl. This is our Super Bowl year. This is our year. It's like, no. Unless you're the teams that have constantly done that before, for example, i.e. the Patriots, which even then they don't say, like, oh, we're going to win the Super Bowl. This is our year. Don't do it. You're cursing yourself. I've already seen a Jags fan actually get a, what was it? There was already a Jags fan who got the tattoos. It seems in every sport, once a year, you always have one team, or one team's fan, who goes to prematurely get a tattoo saying their team won the thing, whatever it is, NBA Finals, World Series, Super Bowl. Last year it was the Dallas Cowboys being the Super Bowl 51 champs. Well, they couldn't even get past Aaron Rodgers. And now we got the Jaguars, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Anyway, yeah, the Jaguars are going to try to get under the Patriots' skin, but it's not going to work. I think they know that already. That's like, there's no point in trying to trash talk them before the game because it's not going to work. The Patriots are by far the most disciplined team in the NFL. So, yeah, it should be interesting. But anyway, to the actual game, my God, the Steelers did not stand a chance. Every time the Steelers did put up a score, the Jaguars would answer right back, and sometimes and then some. And I'm just gonna talk about, like, if you want to know a really good breakdown, like just rip them a new one type of breakdown, just go watch Urinating Tree's video. I think it's called just Congrats Steelers. Oh man, he let him have it. The Yinzers will be forever pissed off at him, but who cares? Like, there is a lot of bad coaching to be had. Mike Tomlin is a top 10 coach, yes. However, that doesn't mean he is a Hall of Fame bound one of the greatest coaches in the NFL ever, or in the history of the NFL ever, because there's only one right now that I could definitely say, and that's Bill Belichick. No one's going to tell you that that's not true, because if you think that, you're probably a hater. Either way. How do you, when you have 2 minutes and 40 seconds, you've got 2 timeouts, you have the 2-minute warning, you just need to get them to stop the ball once, or go 3 and out. Congrats, you got it, but guess what? You onside kicked for that, and they had to get a field goal. Imagine if you never did that. Let's say you kicked it normally, and you got a 3 and out. You get that touchdown you're supposed to, and you would actually have a tie game. What would happen beyond that? I don't know. I don't even understand what's wrong with the Steelers sometimes, man. Big Ben says he's coming back, but it's every year. He's like, oh, I don't think I'm going to come back. I think I'm going to retire. But, oh, God, the Steelers are a mess. Free agency's going to kick their ass either this year or next year. Sooner or later, they're going to have some good players leave. They can't sign them all. But I just don't know don't know how to understand what the Steelers did. They did not handle themselves as well as they could have. Which, kudos to the Jaguars, they really put a stranglehold on them. Except for that one play where Antonio Brown torched A.J. Boye. He's like, but Josh, A.J. Boye was right behind him. Yeah, he was behind him clinging to his jersey, which that was the defensive hold, if you ask me. But it didn't even matter because A.B. still got the touchdown anyway. Easily. A.J. Boye couldn't even get, and I've said it before, that he's had defensive holding tendencies. He had it at his last year with the Texans, and he still has it now. It's just that he hasn't got caught as often in the playoffs so far. But now they're going to play Tom Brady, and it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that revolving door of running backs and Gronkowski. I wonder if Jalen Ramsey will be forced to cover Gronkowski. I don't know. It'll be interesting, but we'll see. Anyway, so let's move on to the last game. This Saints-Vikings game. Everyone's giving the Saints crap for choking, like they choked a big lead. Let's be real. If that play never happened, we would be giving the Vikings a lot of shit because they had a 17-0 lead going into halftime, and they choked that lead away. And it went back and forth towards the end, 24-23 Saints, but in the last play, Case Keenum got a good pass to Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs had to jump up and reach it, and Marcus Williams missed the tackle, hitting his own friend, and Stephon Diggs could just sprint to the end zone. Wins the game. It's called the Minneapolis Miracle, and now the Vikings are 1 win away from being the first team to hosting a Super Bowl in their own stadium. That is just fascinating to me. How you do that, I don't know. There's a saying from Bill Parcells. I'm going to paraphrase it, but don't be that one player that sends the rest of the team home. Marcus Williams was that, and he's a rookie. So Bill's telling me that I shouldn't be too harsh on him because he's a rookie. But that was the worst time to make a rookie mistake. He tried to low block him, like hit him below, go for the legs to bring him down, which he was jumping. He was at the height of his jump, and then you decided, I'm going to go low. If I had a week to explain why that's a bad idea, I would have done so by now. I would collapse from exhaustion because of how much of a bad idea that was. Oh boy. Yikes, yikes, yikes. That was... Oh man. I'll tell you too, half the reason I'm more upset, not just because of the pick, but if that score stayed the way it did, I would have won some money. Either way, I mean, it's not like the guy who lost 14,000, so I'm not as mad about it as that guy should be. But yeah, I say that was an incredible play to end the game, but just I feel like I'm on the wrong side of history for that. You know, there are some plays that are considered iconic and pivotal, but they're just people who don't like to think about it because they're on the wrong side of history. I.e., the Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary against the Lions, which that one's still questionable at best, or my case, the St. Louis Cardinals against the Rangers in Game 6 I think you know what I'm talking about. I don't like to remember that one, to be honest. And so on and so forth. There are things you don't want to recall because they may be considered epic, but wrong side of history. Anyway, I think that's all I want to mention for now, because without Bill here, I can't really keep going a conversation. This would be much more shorter. So, yeah. And to me, the only closing thoughts was we've got, to me, the most predictable. We may have the most predictable Super Bowl outcome going into the playoffs, but it's still nothing set in stone. The Jaguars could pull an upset. The Eagles could pull an upset. But anyway, as for the picks, I got Bill's picks already, so don't worry. He is still here to tell me. He has the Vikings beating the Eagles and the Patriots beating the Jaguars, and I have the same. We both have Patriots-Vikings, the most predictable Super Bowl I know. I will say this, though. The only way I'll root for the Vikings is if the Patriots somehow lose to the Jaguars. At the same time, though, I will not be upset if I see Case Keenum hoisting up a Lombardi trophy. Because that kid, I thought he was good. I still feel bad because the Texans cut him and let him go to the Rams. I don't know what Bill O'Brien was thinking there, because Case Keenum turned out to be a pretty good quarterback. I like Case. I did in the past. I do now, but I have to go with the Dynasty Killers. I just want Tom Brady to keep winning so he can just go. Just win one more and go. Because to be honest, it kind of feels like the Patriots dynasty is about to end, based on the whole thing that it looks like Josh McDaniels is going to be the Colts head coach and Matt Patricia is going to be the head coach of the Detroit Lions. So there's still going to be Bill Belichick, maybe. I don't know. Bill Belichick may retire. Tom Brady may retire. Tom Brady says he still wants to play until he's like 45. I don't see that. Many people don't see that. I could say maybe 42 if you're not getting like massacred. But yeah, of course, there is the thing with apparently a hand injury to Tom Brady. I don't know how that's going to affect him. I hope it doesn't affect him, because if the Patriots lose, I guarantee you that's going to be the big excuse from Patriots fans and possibly me. I won't deny that I might be on that side of the camp. But anyway, yep, there you go. Bill and I both have a Vikings-Patriots Super Bowl. We'll see if we're right or if it's something completely different. Anyway, that'll do it for the podcast for Football Talks with no Bill. I hope he'll be here next week. He should be here next week. And yeah, I will see you guys later.